morning, everybody. Happy Taco Tuesday, every day to you. My system, and unfortunately, that's what happened again today. Let me quick check on Twitter, make sure we're coming in live over there, so everyone can hear us. Okay. Today, my system, and unfortunately, that's what happened again today. Let me check on Twitter, make sure we're coming in live over there. Okay, we'll type a little GM here in the chat to get things started. I still need to get a new upgraded router since my I upgraded to fiber optics, but did not upgrade my system. So anyway, a little later today, we're going to have to kind of really narrow this down quickly, tell you what's going on. But bottom line is, let's first look at, looks like futures are, futures were mixed, honestly, all night, up, down, up, down, up, down, up a quarter, down a quarter, up a half point, down a half point. Looks like we opened up slightly, pretty is really what I would say. Pretty flat. Welcome, YouTube and X. Appreciate you here. Had to restart my system. Happens from time to time. So apologize for the late. Squeeze this into about 21 minutes, but that's okay. We can get it done. I can talk fast. Probably talk too fast normally anyway. But anyway, yeah, the NASDAQ, like I say, we had mixed. We literally had pretty mixed futures, up, down, up, down. Pretty flat, up positive 0.7, down 0.08 on the Dow, down 0.14. That's what I call gold. Up, yeah, gold's taking a nice jump, up 2.5%. Take a quick look on oil here if I can find it real quick. Oil, $89. So down quite pretty well on that, up to 120 Sunday night futures. It was crazy. Basically, what happened is yesterday, Trump basically came out and kind of hinted that we might be close to a war. So you see a lot of green in the altcoins. We'll look at that. But first, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin just slightly below. It's had a little bit of a short drop. If we look at the hourly chart, we can see we opened up close to 71. Now we've dropped down, had a 1% drop here in the last couple of minutes. Maybe we're back to our 10 a.m. dump. Who knows? To having our guys over at Jane Street manipulating the market. Just so you know, I've got the hour charts here so you can see. Yeah. Ethereum 2026 up 7% for the day, but just took a 1.3% drop. Not sure why. Just happened. Like I said, I don't the futures haven't dropped, so must just be a crypto thing. 6.6 BNB 641 up 1%, down almost 1% in a lot of minutes. XRP 138.3 cents, up 1.4 for the day, down about 0.4 for the hour here. Solana 85.84, got all the way to 87.21 right there, and then sharp dip. So we'll see. Look back at the make sure the NASDAQ or nothing's doesn't look like it. Looks like it's a crypto thing. Maybe manipulation is back in style. No reason for that sharp dip. Yeah, futures are the same. It's a crypto thing. Pisses me off. We get back to that. Maybe we'll pop back up, but pretty sharp drop. Bitcoin 70,089. Basically a 1,000-point drop in just a few minutes there since I was firing up the space. So yeah, back to market manipulation. But if we look overall, a lot of the altcoins were looking pretty good. Pippin up 8.1, virtual 4.5, hype 6.6, render 4.9, Zcash 4.5, Pingu 1.2. Of course, XAUT, that's the track the gold, that's doing good. Pump 3.6, 3.1. So yeah, looking pretty good. Maybe we can we'll keep checking back. Keep watching this hourly chart, see if we can drive back out. I don't like that 1,000. We're bringing back the old 10 a.m. Market manipulation. But look, hopefully my screen screens all work because I had to open them up again. Yeah, Qatar says attacks on vital infrastructure in the region will lead to a humanitarian catastrophe. And we talked yesterday. We talked about the saline plants and the desalination plants and how important those are to the infrastructure and how it'd be a true humanitarian thing if those got taken out. So anyway, that's not good right now. So we'll see. Like I say, why the market pumped yesterday is Trump came out, had to me it was kind of disjointed speech. Said the wars were almost over, and asked when, hey, your Secretary of War is saying we're just getting started. He's like, yeah, kind of both. But one thing he did come out is he came out with a super strong stance on if you basically interrupt the Straits of Hormuz, we'll come at you 20 times harder. So yeah, some tough talk. We'll see what happens. But he did talk like he was kind of open to resolving things. So that's why the markets kind of reacted positively. Yeah, he kind of came out and was very complete. But your defense secretary said this is the beginning. So which is it? You could say both. It's the beginning of building a new country. You can call it a tremendous success, or we can go further. So I don't know. It seemed discombobulated to me, but the market read it as we're closer to an end. So Trump did say out and said Iran had far more missiles than anyone thought. Obviously, we're surprised by all these drones too. These low-cost drones have really been disruptive. Bitcoin fear and greed, 13 up 8 from 8 yesterday. So look, I've not hidden the fact that I love fear and greed. I love buying extreme fear. It's a great macro indicator. We're either at a bottom, we've either bottomed, we're close to a bottom, or we're not, but we're a lot closer to bottom than we are at top. So to me, it's in my buy zone. If you want to wait for it to go down a little, that's up to you, but it's in my buy zone here. I'm buying. And also Trump came out, this was breaking this morning. Yeah. Came out and said he could talk to Iran. So hard to read him, he's master negotiator, but saw this deal here. This is Wall Street Journal reporting that Trump's advisors urged him to look for a plan to exit. And he said they suggest framing as U.S. military have already achieved its objectives. So this is saying, still, let's exit. And then Bolton was formerly in the Trump administration. Now they hate each other, but he said it was one of three things. Like, yeah, maybe they are getting ready to pull out, or it's done. That's true. Or he's just trying to manipulate the market and get oil back down, buy himself some more time. Or he said, number three, he said, kind of no matter what, they pull out now or stay in longer, Trump's going to call it, an overwhelming success and success. So we'll see. But like you say, who knows what's going on? What I do know is the market is pricing in. Positive that we might see a quicker end. Just checking. Yeah, the $1,000 drop. Yeah, this feels like the old manipulation. I don't like it. I do not like that, but that's what it's feeling like to me. The old U.S. Paper-handed U.S. market manipulation that was kind of started. We got 4D chess going on, negotiations. Putin now coming out and saying, maybe we won't give any. We're basically looking into halting all energy supplies to Europe. Probably trying to hit back a little at them now that there's a serious energy crisis. Because they were sanctioned and they've been supporting the Ukraine. So we'll see. I mean, he's definitely helping Putin's position. There's no question. But we'll see. It's funny. You think back in Trump, I don't know if he's at a UN or G7 summit or something, where there's a bunch of people in their translators, a microphone, saying you're way too reliant on Russian oil, and they were laughing at him. So I'm not laughing now. Still getting my butt kicked a little bit by daylight, a little better than yesterday and Sunday. So, $1 trillion. Goldman Sachs came out, said they bought $300 million worth of Bitcoin, all of it through MicroStrategies, MSTR. So, big banks are buying. Like I say, smart money is buying. We probably should be as well. Crypto.com approved as a national U.S. crypto bank. So we're seeing this. We're seeing banks starting to do more and more with crypto. Crypto companies trying to become banks. We're seeing emerge there, kind of Web 2 meets Web 3. Winklevoss twins looks like they 30 million over to Gemini on projected like 1.8 in profit in their projected in their crypto, in their Bitcoin. Could be a lot higher. No one knows exactly, but typically that's a signal going to take a little bit off the table. Typically, when you see it move into active exchanges, even though they own it, it's typically a suggestion they're going to dump a little bit. So, billionaire Jack, we've been talking about him lately. He does a lot. He's a Bitcoin maxi. He believes very much, as Satoshi did, that Bitcoin should be currency. And his companies, he was the founder of Twitter originally, and of course Block, which has a Cash App, also Square, which a lot of merchants use. So he's been doing a lot to bring it, but he came out in an interview and said he doesn't support crypto, only Bitcoin. The internet needs an open money protocol. That's BTC. So he doesn't really like crypto. He just likes BTC. But by him helping Bitcoin, it helps all of crypto. But yeah, not into layer ones, not into Ethereum and things like that. And so that's what he's pushing for. But that's fine. Other people can push the other things. Bitcoin's great as a store of value, digital gold, and maybe even someday it can be somewhat used for. He can be somewhat used for a transactionable currency, but it doesn't solve all the problems that crypto does. Can't do smart contracts. Can't do a lot of stuff on Bitcoin. Oh, us supposedly leaning towards IPO on the NASDAQ and targeting a $1.7 trillion valuation, which would be far and wide the biggest IPO, the biggest initial public offering in history. So I'm hearing that's coming mid-June. There's some special dates here about. It's bad news overall for the oil in the situation over in Iran. The UAE's largest refinery down after a drone strike caused a fire at the Ruwais plant, or however they say it. The ADNOC facility processes 922,000 barrels of oil per day, making it one of the largest world's biggest refineries. So obviously bad news on the oil front. So once again, these cheap stray drones. So yeah, definitely not boding well for oil in the Middle East and just overall in the economy in general. Tokenized stocks, on my Good Bitcoin show, I've had RWA, real world asset. I've been talking about tokenizing stocks. Tokenization of real world assets is a big thing. Stocks is one of those. Now reached $1 billion with Ondo and X stocks. X stocks, I believe, are working exclusively on Solana, but between those two, they're leading the sector. I do own Ondo. It's a platform for bringing real world assets to the blockchain. But anyway, over $1 billion. So I'm looking to do. There's a few, and I'm waiting to buy them off decentralized blockchain platform, because I do not own a U.S. bank account or have a U.S. brokerage account. Welcome everyone over on X, YouTube, listening live. Appreciate you being here. Kind of the tone of the day, kind of if you're just joining us. Basically, futures, everything up and down, open pretty flat, but we had about $1,000 drop in Bitcoin right after the opening. Fills once again. Closure is another one of those protocols that I own. It's a layer one and a really fast layer one, though the only real DApp on it or application is their decentralized perps exchange, but it's really the Cadillac of those, right? It's really doing a lot of volume. Aster supposedly up and coming competitor, but that of course on the BNB chain backed by heavily by CZ at one point. So we thought that was going to be the real hyped liquid killer competitor. I don't think it's kind of worked out that way, but hyper liquid, they had it where I guess you can trade oil futures on there, and they were doing about $21 million in volume, and then it went to 1.2 billion after this war. So that's crazy, and also shows how these protocols can benefit as all this stuff is just easier over the weekend. There was a lot of volume there when the regular oil wasn't trading, so people could get into kind of aftermarket trading, if you will. But shout out to Hype. See how Hype? I think the Hype's doing good. Probably on that, to be honest with you. Hype up 0.3% and up 130% of the year, sitting at $8.26 billion, ranking 14. So. This was not the. This the what I was looking for here was kind of a breaking news. There it is. Pete Hegseth. This was after I'd already started setting up the show. He said today will be the most intense day of strikes against Iran. So obviously trying to bring them to the table or accomplish their goal, whatever it is. I think eventually you start to run out of targets, right? The easy pick and the low hanging fruit is gone, and everyone gets a lot more hiding around and stuff. So could be that they're starting to run out of targets and don't think they want to put boots on the ground. There is still that nagging question of the nuclear stuff. There has been some talks of special forces going in to get that enriched uranium. Now, this is crazy. The U.S. Treasury is projected to buy back $15 billion of their own debt today, which is the largest Treasury buyback in history, which shows you there's not much appetite for U.S. Treasuries. Once again, underpinning the absolute critical nature of the U.S. dollars and their T-bills, Treasury bills, having these stable coins linked to the U.S. dollar. So that's why there's no question in my mind this Clarity Act will pass. So we have the clear structure for that. And once again, so Mr. Wonderful again talking. He thinks Bitcoin will hit 200,000 if we can get that Clarity Act and the market structure definitively taken care of. Dorsey, speaking of stablecoins, Dorsey on the same interview said he doesn't like stablecoins, but admitted customer basically saying Block will support stablecoins. He said he doesn't like stablecoins, but admitted customer demand pushed Block, previously Square, to support them, despite the view that Bitcoin should be the internet money. So he doesn't like anything other than Bitcoin, but nonetheless realizes that stablecoins be a lot of what people are going to do with payments. I mentioned this. Arthur Hayes. He does not think that. He does not think if this thing does get drug out, he does not think that has been priced in. He thinks he'll have to print more money because the inflation caused by it, and he believes that that'll push risk assets, Bitcoin, up higher. So, for what that's worth, I put a lot of stock in what he says, to be honest with you. Last but not least, here's our guy Pomp on CNBC. He's we've got a war in Iran. We've got a spike in energy prices. got AI disruption concerns. We got cracks in private credit. We have weaker job markets. And she said, how do you invest right now? And he said, buy Bitcoin. Kind of a we could have guessed that. Let me see. Did I lose that? I probably did. There was a great one I had pulled up, and I must have lost it when I restarted my computer. But it was hilarious. It was 2019. Tom on there with that female anchor saying he thought everyone should buy 1% of their. He thought everyone should buy 1% of their portfolio in Bitcoin. And by the way, Bitcoin was $5,000 at the time. She's like, crazy. You don't, not talking about normal people. He's like, no, they could lose it all. They might as well just throw it away. It's absolutely crazy. So it's funny to watch those, right? Watch those. I remember that. I remember Chamath getting on same thing, same. You don't mean regular people. I know more regular people need it more than, and that was when Bitcoin was like 3,200. So it'll never stop, but it's funny watching those clips, seeing how far we've come, right? Bitcoin back playing, trying to get over that 70,000. Yeah, this dip just feels like manipulation to me. I don't know. Maybe some news came out. Feels like manipulation to me, but anyway, thank you for joining us on the Opening Bell Crypto Show. See a bunch of live people over there on X and a few on Rumble and YouTube as well. Soon going to put it on TikTok. I'm almost at 1,000 followers. I can do live streams. I'll throw it out there too. Those people really need some help. Lots of people think XRP is going to 50,000 over. But anyway, well, thank you, everyone. Have a great Taco Tuesday. Get out, eat some tacos. I went on a hike yesterday. We're kind of the pawns here. We got to wait to see what happens. But I'll see everyone. I'll see everyone tomorrow.